Okay. Well, we just... It looks like we just had a major assault from the Nemesis here, trying to disrupt the signal. Ooh, doggy, that was a close one. Gearbox, how's everything looking? It's looking all right. Okay. It looks like we managed to repel the attack from the Nemesis, and the signal is back up and stronger than ever. Okay, let's go ahead and get back into it here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that Nemesis it never quits, let me tell you. Ooh, doggy. Okay, where were we? Okay, so here. Yeah, it was getting interesting here. Kind of, sort of. Okay, so. Yes, we had the Blackgate prison, Cataclysm, boom. Place is falling apart, flooding. And then, so towards, earlier in the story, there was an inmate on death row. The nun was there to try and convince him to repent of his sins and save his soul. So the prison's falling apart and everything. And so that same inmate, the same prisoner, that guy right there holding up the concrete block, yeah, he's the one that's on death row. And in this life and death moment, he admits to the nun that he did it. He committed the crime. And apparently, so he's trying to save the woman that's with the nun. He's holding up the concrete and everything. Yeah, so he's in that life and death moment, he's having a crisis of conscience and confessing his crimes. So the nun, the walkway breaks, the nun is fallen, and the woman tries to save her. The gentleman, the prisoner is, he's still holding that thing up, trying to keep it from collapsing. And so the Batman comes in, swings in to save the nun. Saves the nun, saves the other woman. And if I'm understanding this right, so that prisoner is holding that thing up, trying to, I don't know, I think he's trying to save them. The art's a little bit confusing there. But, so I'm assuming he's basically sacrificing himself to save those two women, including the nun. Batman comes in, saves them, boom. The guy, his strength fails him, and he gets crushed between the, underneath the concrete slab and everything. So he was scheduled for execution at that time. At the start of the comic book, it was only 5 hours away. So, and he confesses to the nun that he did commit those crimes. So justice, ironically, I guess you could say, he did meet justice while saving the nun and this woman. So it's an interesting twist right there. Boom. And that's the end of that particular issue. So yeah, it's one thing about this Cataclysm thing. I don't know. It seems like they were trying to dive into life and death disaster type situation, and how people would respond, including not just Batman and the Bat family, but normal average citizens and whatnot. I think that's what they were going for with it. I don't know. Mixed feelings. It's okay in and of itself. I do remember not being a huge fan of the Cataclysm thing, and I think I'm starting to understand why a little bit. It was an okay story. But you can definitely tell going through it. You can see that they were starting to go down that path of, instead of focusing on the point of the comic books, Batman and, adventure and beating up bad guys and stuff like that. They were definitely going more of a Freudian psychological breakdown it wasn't like super heavy-handed, but in hindsight, over the last, let's see, this is 1998, over the last 23 years, you can definitely see how they were heading down that path. From what I understand about the whole Heroes in Crisis thing, that's a good example of the end of that path. So you can definitely tell that some of the origins at least, were in stuff like this. I'm not saying the entire story arc was bad, but you can definitely tell the direction they were heading with it. And because of that, I'm just not as interested in the story as I might have been otherwise. And I don't know. I would have to read more of the Cataclysm series to be able to get a full grasp of it, but this is the second one back to back so far. And the first one, Huntress, and spoiler, so I'm just not that interested in either character, even though it's supposed to be in a Batman title. They did the same thing with this one. You get the Batman, but it's the actual Batman font is like very small compared to the rest of it. It's like, it's a Batman. If it's supposed to be a Batman title, they make it nice and big and bold. The subtitle is supposed to be a subtitle, and they turn the subtitle into the title and the title into the subtitle. The title being Batman. Yeah, that does matter. It might not sound like a big deal, but when it comes to creativity, artwork, publishing, stuff like this, that is in fact a pretty big deal. That is a pretty major detail, and that's very much intentional. You don't put something like this together without intent. There are certain rules, guidelines, and stuff like that for stuff like that, and they pretty much ignored them all. Just looking at that, so that is a pretty important detail right there. Like I said, 23 years ago, leading into modern comic books. It's okay. It's an okay story. There were some interesting aspects of it. They just kind of, it's just kind of focused a little too much on the wrong things. Like some of the stuff should have been like a side story type thing, pops up, but then they focus so heavy on it. I don't know. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not as engaging as I would like it to be. For those reasons. So, well, now let's see. The condition of the comic book is a little not the best. It's not terrible, but there's definitely a couple of creases, like weird creases. Like, yeah, there's a couple of circular creases. I'm not even sure how those get there, but this one does have them. One decent sized one, a smaller one, and it looks like another small one over there. The corners are fine and everything. For the most part, the ink is fine. It's not a terrible condition. Just itty bitty little things that take away from that near mint status. And all things considered, it's in pretty good shape. So, yeah, it was an okay story. I would definitely have to read more of the Cataclysm to see exactly where they were going with that. However, you got this thing. You got this female romance novel thing at the very front, inside the front back cover. I don't know. Maybe that kind of colored my entire expectation of this issue. It's entirely possible. So, then he got Batman abduction. Batman gets abducted by aliens. It's like, what is this? It's not X-Files. It's Batman. Come on. What? Were they that desperate for a story arc? I don't. It looked like it was a 64-page one-shot, and it's probably a good thing. I cannot make this stuff up. Somebody did make it up, but it wasn't me. Oh, Jiminy freaking cricket, man. Dude, doggy. All right. So yeah, you take the corner with the binder, put that in first, and the rest of it should slide in smooth as butter. For the most part. Minimal damage, if anything, to the outer corner there. Then all you gotta do is Fold the flap over. Make sure it's nice and secure. Boom, boom, boom. So I don't like to use tape. There you have it. Batman Black Gate Isle of Men Cataclysm. Number 1, even though it would appear to be, wait, where is it? In reality, number 8. You gotta love those marketing tricks. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this bad boy into long-term storage. Ooh, doggy. That was actually pretty fitting. Those are practically back-to-back issues. Not quite, maybe, but all intents and purposes, I'd say yes on that one. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for today. We had a pretty major attack from the Nemesis there. Actually took down the signal for a brief moment. Managed to get it back up in short order. So, there's always something, let me tell you. Ooh, doggy. But we managed to get it back up and running and finish this House of G. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps get you through your Monday, starting off your week there. And I know it's definitely helping me with mine. So, Generator. All right. So this has been the House of G, the home of the OGG, the original geek, and the original gamer. Who doggy? I hope you have yourself a great weekend there. I hope this Monday has been a good start to your week. And yeah, with that said, I'll see you on the flip side. All right, Gearbox, let's go ahead and get this party. I guess end of the party there. All right, let's do this.